I feel like it's been a while since we last sat down to film like a proper writing vlog. Probably doesn't feel like it to you because I'm really behind on editing, but to me it's been quite a while since I've sat down and actually like updated you on how my book is going, so we should do that. If you're new here, my name is Marta. I am working on my debut fantasy trilogy, which I call Project Sight, and I'm currently working on the second draft of the second book. Honestly, I really look forward to the point where I'm working on the third draft of the third book. I think that's going to be really fun to say, but for now, we are working on the second draft of the second book. And just as a bit of a catch-up, if you've been missing some of the last few vlogs, we were working on the first act. We stopped working on the first act after I finished it and sort of took like some time, probably about a month at this point, to just do some brainstorming for the rest of the book. And for the rest of the series, I felt like my idea of book 3 wasn't really there yet. I felt like a lot of the later half of book 2 just was a bit all over the place because I was really lacking some of that like structure and just like actually sitting down and figuring stuff out. So I've been working really hard on that. I've been doing most of that work off camera and I'm kind of like ready to jump into drafting again now. And I think I've really been ready to start drafting again for a while, but I've been feeling this like insecurity of like, oh, what if I go back to it too early again? And in the end, I just decided to just start the first chapter of Act 2 off camera, so this was like last week. And I've been sort of like chipping away at it very slowly. I feel like I've been going through a bit of a writing slump really, like I've been still managing to hit my goal of writing every day, but I've only been writing for about 10 minutes per day for the past week or so. Sometimes I didn't even get to 10 minutes, it was bad. But like, I think we're possibly over that now. I had a really great time this morning. I went to a little cafe and did a little bit of writing there, and I actually managed to concentrate on this chapter for a full 40 minutes, which is more than I've done for like 2 weeks, so like that was really, really good. And yeah, I'm hoping that doing that just sort of like, I think my ideas for how to tackle that first chapter of Act 2, this is fun, we're working on the second act of the second book, of the second draft of the trilogy. But anyway, I feel like I know how to tackle it a bit better now, and I'm excited to actually jump into drafting again and jump into vlogging again, now that I'm not working on super secret book 3 stuff. I am trying to keep this intro as short as possible because I am meant to be streaming in half an hour, but other than going to the cafe this morning, there was also like a little antiques market type thing going on, and there were some jewelry stands, and I bought myself a couple of necklaces and I'm gonna show them off to you. So I got 2 of them. I've been feeling like, because I only have like a couple of necklaces that I actually like and they're all very old, I've had them for years, but I don't really have a chance to wear a lot of jewelry because I don't leave the house much outside of work and I don't wear jewelry to work. But like, I've just been feeling like wearing jewelry for myself, like just because I feel pretty in it, and I don't think just because I'm not leaving the house that I shouldn't get to wear it. And sometimes I do leave the house, even if it's by myself. So I should still, like, there is no reason why I shouldn't wear a necklace to go to a cafe by myself. But I don't have very many necklaces that I like, and there were a couple of really cute ones. So this is the first one. It's a little like sun sort of imagery thing. I really liked the color. Like, I feel like all of my existing jewelry is silver and I've been enjoying gold stuff a lot more recently. These are like the only bits of gold and jewelry that I have. And I don't have any necklaces to go with them, so yeah, this one's so cute. And then the second one I got, which was from like this upcycled sort of stand, which had a bunch of like miscellaneous bits, is this one, which is a little heart pendant type thing with like a gold chain. And I really like it, and on the whole like revelation of wearing jewelry that's just for myself, I'm gonna put it on and wear it during my stream, because I'm not leaving the house again today, but I get to wear it around the house, and that's all that matters. And then actually the reason I was going into town in the first place was to buy some preserving jars, because I want to do some more blackberry picking this weekend. But okay, I think we'd better get ready to set up for the stream, but I owe you one more detailed update on what I was working on this morning. Don't let me forget. Hello there, it has been about 2 weeks since my last update, so feel free to grab a cup of tea because this might be a little bit of a chunky one. So what has happened in the last 2 weeks? Well, the first one of those weeks I was still here, still in England. I had my writing date with Malin, which was really fun. I am not the sort of person that's very good at talking about my book. Something you can probably tell by how vague I am about my book in these videos. I feel like I'm very comfortable sharing my process and like romanticizing my process a little bit on here, but actually telling you what the story is about, I would be surprised if you could give me any details. Feel free to try. But doing an in-person writing date like that is something that I've never done and that I've always wanted to try. And it was really fun. I feel like I need to get better because at some point, like, Malin offered to workshop something with me and I was just like, I felt like I was trying to give her information and like my mouth was not responding to the command. I feel like I'm too used to being secretive about my projects, and I would like to work on being more open about my projects with my friends, not with you. You get to hear about my projects when they're closer to being done. But other than my writing date, I spent the first week of this 2 weeks with no update chunk tipping away at my book at home and just getting like little bits of writing in after work like I normally do. And then for the second week, I went on holidays. I flew off to Spain to visit some family members, stayed at my parents' place and just generally had like a week and a bit sort of holiday there, just visiting family and stuff like that. And it was very busy, like it always is, but particularly so recently. And I had some time to write, not very much, but and one thing that I'm always surprised by when I go on holidays is how different writing feels to me. So I was very busy. I only really managed an hour per day, sometimes less than that while I was traveling. But the amount of writing that I got done in that hour compared to a typical hour of writing here after work, even when I'm here I can do an hour all in one go. In Spain I was actually getting interrupted, so it wasn't even like a full hour sometimes. It was still so different. The amount of like brain space I have to think about my book when I'm on holidays is so much bigger, and it always makes me a little bit sad when I come back that that's now going away. But I'm really happy with the progress that I made while I was there. So we're currently at just before the midpoint. I'm hoping to like write the midpoint today. But before I went to Spain, I think I wrote maybe 3 chapters in Act 2. And then while I was in Spain, I wrote another 7 chapters. And when I got to the 7th chapter, I wrote one line that made me pause, because just that one line and nothing else about the previous 10 chapters, just this one single sentence, would hit so much harder if I re-outlined the entirety of book 2 again. So I re-outlined the entirety of book 2 again. And in my defense, it fixed other things as well. So I didn't realize this when I started doing it, but there were some other issues that was sort of like, I could sense that there was a problem, but I couldn't put my finger on what it was. After I switched the order of some bits around, got rid of some scenes and like moved different bits, like added some character stuff, removed some character stuff. Many changes were made. I think this has actually solved at least 4 problems that I didn't realize I had until I did this, and then it was like, oh, this works so much better. So we did that. And then I rewrote those 10 chapters again. And then I wrote 2 new ones. And then the one I'm currently on is the midpoint. So that's where we're currently at. But I find it really interesting because before I started Act 2, I knew my outline wasn't perfect. This is why I was hesitating so much, like trying to tweak it, but I didn't really know what else to do. And I was really hesitant to actually start working on this because I felt like I was just gonna repeat my mistakes from Act 1 and jump into drafting when I wasn't fully ready yet. And I don't think that's the case. I think in this case I needed to get to this point for me to figure this out and then go back. I'm not upset about it. I'm not mad that I had to rewrite everything twice. I'm actually pretty pleased with it. And I think I need to learn that lesson. And like, at the same time, what I did with Act 1, I did jump into it too early and it felt uncomfortable to be drafting, which was not the case this time. It just felt like I was still discovering things. And I want to say that I want to get better at being able to tell the difference between these two scenarios, but I don't know that I will ever be able to tell the difference between these two scenarios other than in hindsight. I think sometimes I just need to try to draft, and if it's not working, just stop again. And actually maybe what I should be working on instead is being more graceful with myself, and if I'm in the middle of drafting like I was with Act 1 and I realized that I'm unprepared, not committing to drafting the entire act, but realizing, oh, okay, I need to stop and go back, and then doing that. You know, like a normal person, probably. I think really what I've been learning a lot about my writing process this year is that I need to get better at balancing discipline with listening to myself. And I feel like I very much lean towards the extremes. I either do not try and force anything and then I don't write at all, or I'm super disciplined but then things go badly and I keep doing it anyway. And I think I need to go and move towards the center a little bit. But all of that aside, we are back in England. It is not only the last day in August, but also the last day of my holidays, so I'm starting work again tomorrow. And I feel like even if I'm starting work tomorrow, my brain is still in this like holiday writing mode where little bits of writing will be far more efficient because I'm far more awake and like have a full creative well, etc, etc. So I want to make use of that, and I want to go and write in a cafe today. And like I mentioned, some of the writing that I was doing in Spain, I was getting interrupted a lot. Sometimes I sat down for an hour but got interrupted 5 times in that hour. It was really good writing time. I got a lot done and I'm really happy with what I did. But I don't think I've actually had any sort of dedicated like locking in time during my holiday at all, other than once when I went to a cafe by myself because I'd had enough of everyone, but we don't need to talk about that. So since it's the last day of my holiday, I want to take my laptop out, I want to go to a cafe, and I want to log in for at least an hour, hopefully 2, and get a bunch of writing done and get past the midpoint. Let's go.